In the shadow of the city across the Thames, 250 cyclists were readying themselves for the second edition of the London-Paris cycle event in aid of Cure Leukemia. Starting at Greenwich Park, over 500 kilometres of southeast England and northern France would test some of these amateur cyclists to their limits. The concept is simple: to raise money and awareness of this disease. It's the brainchild of former Crystal Palace legend and someone who himself has suffered from leukemia back in the late 90s, Geoff Thomas.
I think this is my 10th actually, 10th on the bounce. This is the second time for Cure Leukemia, a charity I'm a patron of, so it is important that the funds that were raised are going to these professors and nurses that are doing such great work.
Cure Leukemia has a very simple mission. It's to fund research nurses, open trials of life-saving therapy, expand access to new treatments, and in the process move forward medical science.
They've got partnerships with the pharma industry. They times everything that we raise by 10. So £250,000 we raise on this event equates to about £2.5 million worth of free drugs coming into the units.
For us, this is our biggest fundraising event of the year, so hopefully raise over £250,000. And I think what it does also, not only is it the awareness through Geoff and Professor Craddock, but also it's the opportunity to spend 4 days with some very special people who hopefully, once they hear more about what the work of Charlie and many others, they sort of connect with us longer term. So it's not just a case of a one-off event and then we don't see these guys again. I think they become part of a sort of Cure Leukemia family.
It's the best 4 days of my life. A fantastic celebration of life, great camaraderie, and of course raising money for a vital life-saving cause.
With a mix of both experienced cyclists and some relative novices, the next 4 days would see them push their bodies harder than ever before. Make no mistake, this is no walk in the park, and there was a huge amount of nervous excitement as final preparations were made.
A number of colleagues have done this ride before, said what a fantastic event it is, what a great charity it is. So, it's something I had to get involved with, really.
I know Charlie very well, and the work he does is just fantastic. I crewed last year, and this year I thought I'd get on the bike, so really excited, looking forward to it.
A bit apprehensive, but I believe it'll be a fantastic 4 days. Just hope the weather stays dry, but yeah, should be really good.
The atmosphere is so brilliant that I'm waiting every year to restart again the training to do this London to Paris.
Proper training since the beginning of the year, so hopefully I've done enough.
Yeah, time will tell.
Yeah.
Next 4 days.
Try to do as much hill training as possible.
I picked up this bike last night, so I did my first training ride picking it up from East London, and I got lost riding home to Stockwell, so that was my training.
At 8 a.m, the peloton rolled out of Greenwich, ahead the Garden of England and some of the most beautiful areas of northern France. Day one would see the riders take on 126.9 kilometres, taking them out of London into Kent, with one pit stop and lunch at 105 kilometres before they take on the hill known as the Wall, a 14% gradient of sheer pain. As the peloton reached the first break at around 45 kilometres, one man had missed the start. Graham Boy had covered miles, literally, to get to the start line.
I was at the Europa League Cup final. I'm a Liverpool fan, this was my son Luke, and we had to come via Frankfurt because it was the only flight I could get back that would be early enough to get to City Airport at 7:15 this morning. My wife said, oh gosh, how are you going to do it logistically? So she drove to Greenwich this morning with all the bike, all the kit, and dropped it off and let us get on with it. So it's been kind of a team effort, so everyone's kind of gathered around me, which is lovely. My son Luke was diagnosed with leukemia at age 4. He's now 15. He's doing really well at school. He's a strapping lad, he's taller than me now. But equally, a good friend of mine, Jed, he was diagnosed with testicular cancer 18 months or so ago. And then he was cleared last year, and 3 months ago he said, he just sent me an email, he's going to do this ride. And I said, Jan, I can't believe you're going to do a cycling ride after what you've been through. But he has no idea that I'm here, and he'll turn up in the next, say, half an hour, 40 minutes. And he'll think, what the earth are you doing here?
You didn't tell me you were doing it. Oh, hiya, mate. Hey? Oh, respect. Where did you join us?
The support that people give you, when people do kind of raise money for you and donate and support is incredible. And it's lovely to give back that, because we could have been in a situation where we lost our son.
I work for Bryn Dolphin, and we've had an association with the charity for a number of years now, and it's just been an amazing privilege really to join the team and to join the efforts for what is a great charity.
You find loads of new friends on the road, got a few tight groups going between Tenterton and the lunch stop. Really quite motoring along actually. It was lovely. They all happened to be rugby guys, so I sat nicely behind those and got sucked along until we got to our lunch stop and a nice sandwich, so that was great.
You've got a bit of a hill coming up on the next part.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
We start probably around about 9 to 10 months prior to the event. It all starts with meeting with our French directors and putting the date in place and then getting permissions to close the roads along the way. My main job is then to sort out the English side where we do the routing and the permissions to run as we do out of London.
Right on the hill.
The hill was brutal, but everyone negotiated it. With all riders safely through day one, a quick change, bikes loaded, and on to the train to Calais for day two. After a beautiful sunny departure from London, the weather in Calais was not so welcoming. With heavy rain forecast, the riders would have to call on all their reserves to tackle the open roads of France. The weather may have been damp, but the spirits were high.
My grandma's actually got leukemia, and she was diagnosed at the end of last year. My sister got married last weekend. I'm getting married in August, and originally she was told that she wasn't going to be able to attend either of our weddings, and she's been undergoing chemotherapy, and fortunately she made my sister's wedding last weekend. It's looking very, very good for my wedding in August as well, so it meant a lot to me to raise money, and luckily I hit my target and I've gone through my target. I just want to keep raising as much as I can really, because it means a lot.
135.1 kilometres from Calais to Abbeville is the longest stage of the 4 days. With a 10-kilometre time section early and a hill section at around 70 kilometres, this could be the toughest day in the saddle for many riders.
There was a couple of times yesterday, there was a young Polish girl come up beside me, she helped me along, and then later on there was a young guy struggling, and I said, well, I'll sit in front of you, so that's what it's like. Everybody just helps everybody along.
The atmosphere of everybody all being up for the actual bike ride, which I think keeps everybody going when you're struggling at times.
I'm not used to cycling at all, so I actually felt better than I thought I would, especially at the end, so that was good.
Really good actually, yeah. Bit tired, bit sore now, but good fun and very sore arms, but yeah, good.
everybody's here for a reason. It's either personal challenge or it's to raise money for charity, and the combination of the two is quite powerful.
The logistics of an event such as this are not unlike a mini Grand Tour. Everything is tailored to the riders' needs. Perhaps some of the busiest people over the 4 days would be the medical team and the physios.
There's actually 8 of us in total. There's a whole mix of us. There's some that just have normal daytime jobs that does this as a hobby. Some of these guys are osteopaths that are sort of training to qualify at the moment. So yeah, it's just good fun. We give up our time, we come along and get involved. It's the common thing. So calves, it's the sort of through the quads, through the hamstrings. They're not stretching at the end of the day. They're not used to such long endurance rides. So we're just here to support them and help them along the way and give them the sort of encouragement to carry on and make sure that they make it to the end. The energy that these guys create, the crew are amazing. They really do sort the cyclists out through and through. So yeah, it's good fun.
So after a quick rub down and sandwich, it's back on the road for the push to Abbeville and finally some sunshine.
Bit of a slog trying to get up that mountain this morning. This afternoon's been absolutely perfect. I couldn't have asked for better weather, and the ride through some of the villages has been picturesque pretty much almost, so yeah, it's been great.
Hard work today, very windy, but the last hour made up for it. It was really good. Enjoyed that today.
So I work with Charlie Craddock, so I'm part of the trials team, so to see everyone involved, raising money for what we do to help the patients is fantastic.
Halfway and no casualties. Day 3 would be a special day for some as the peloton headed for Beauvais.
Crystal Palace, it's 26 years since I played in an FA Cup final, and it was the last time Palace got to an FA Cup final, and they're playing exactly the same team, Man United. So we fell just short. We drew 3-3 the first game and lost the replay 1-0. Fingers crossed that they go one step further and lift the cup today. In them days it was a replay, and the replay was a dour affair. First game was 3-3. Ian Wright scored 2 cracking goals, and we were 7 minutes away from lifting the cup, and I was captain at the time, and you know it's always, you know, it hurts a little bit when I think of Mark Hughes just spoiled the party really.
Before the 2016 party, 117.9 kilometres stood in front of the riders, with again a speed section around 33k and a tough hill section just before the 60-kilometre mark.
It's such a great event, you know. The people are really friendly, it's a great atmosphere, it's a fantastic charity, and you know, having done the events you get a little bit close to the people that are really important, like Charlie Craddock, and you realise how important the work is that he does, you know, and how much they rely on these events to raise enough money for Charlie to do his work, you know. It's a great event, it's really, as you can tell, it's good fun.
I've really enjoyed it, but there's been some really tough bits.
had to shout coming up some of the hills to make them.
Now, you've not been cycling very long, but you had a bit of an incident when you first started, didn't you?
Yeah, my first test run ended in a black eye. Had a black eye for about 2 weeks, so I didn't get back on the bike till a couple of months ago. So probably 6 month gap before I got back on, and I was terrified.
Tough going, yeah, very tough. Not done much preparation for this really, so yeah, very tough, but good as well, really enjoyable, organised very well. I loved every minute of it so far.
I must admit, the first day I was a broken person, emotionally, mentally, physically. The first day I was in pieces, the second day the weather didn't help. So today I feel like I've made it, I've done quite well, but no, it has been tough, really tough.
As the riders rolled into the traditional stop of Beauvais Fire Station, there was a reception by the mayor and other dignitaries from local hospitals.
Je vous donne un petit cadeau en reconnaissance de votre puissance. Merci.
Since I know that the final football match of the English Cup starts tonight at 6:30 and that you are all impatient to watch the match. Thank you.
So 26 years on, could Palace turn the tables? And it all started so well. But again, it wasn't to be. One of the real inspirations behind Cure Leukemia is Professor Charlie Craddock, a pioneer in the research for a cure for blood cancer.
When I first met him, he was a bit nervous actually, because I was a former sportsman. He's probably the first sportsman that he'd treated. And, I met this guy who was, he was seen as a maverick back then because his ideas were so forward. And ever since, he saved my life, really. And that's what he did, his skill saved my life.
Eccentric is the word that we use. He is eccentric, but he's passionate. He loves what he does. He can see the future.
He's just fantastic. He's just so committed, and it's his drive and his ambition that pushes these trials forward and gets them open. He's always there going, come on, we can do this. Why aren't we opening these sites? Why aren't we doing more? So it's clinicians like him that we need to push these trials forward and with the ideas as well.
Well, one of the greatest privileges, of course, of looking after patients with blood cancer is you realise how many have inspirational stories and you see their bravery, and none more so than with Jeff Thomas. But Jeff's done more than that. He's really gone the extra mile to see how he can help other people who are less fortunate than him. And honestly, if it wasn't for Jeff, we wouldn't be in this position now where we're driving forward really important trials through this simple step of funding research nurses, because it's Jeff who was insistent that we did this.
We know that the science is there, and it's just accelerating all that good work the scientists are doing, getting out there to benefit patients. And it's a missing link that's been missing for quite a while, but we've fulfilled that, and we can see survival rates already increasing. So we'll keep pressing and trying to make it happen quicker, because it's important.
So to the final day, just over 100 kilometres to Paris from Beauvais, and the finish in the shadow of the Eiffel Tower. This would be no pushover, just look at the profile. Again, it was a damp start to the day, with heavy rain forecast around the time the peloton entered the Parisian boundaries. It would be a final day full of emotion.
It's phenomenal. And when I came in yesterday, I've got to say this, a little tear in my eye of emotion. Just getting all that peloton together, all those people together at one time, brilliant. Worth every second.
Everybody's pulled together. There's people from different companies that are competitors. They're all getting on well together. People who you've met who've got stories, about loved ones that have been affected by leukemia. It's all been very moving at times. It's been a fantastic journey.
highlight, I think, was Jeff Thomas having been described as a precious England footballer by the mayor of Beauvais, as opposed to a previous England footballer. So he's now known as the precious one.
Absolutely exhausted, but cannot wait to get to Paris. It's been really exhilarating, really painful, but it's been an incredible experience. Met some really fantastic people, and it's been really worthwhile for this cause, but I'm absolutely knackered, if I'm totally honest.
The final lunch stop for the 2016 London to Paris in aid of Cure Leukemia and some sustenance before the last push. The peloton would roll into Paris as one, with 250 starters. All 250 were still intact. The sight of the Arc de Triomphe and the cobbled streets leading to the Eiffel Tower awaits.
Leukemia, we've done a great job being together, made it to Paris on a bike. Who would have thought? Yeah, it feels really, really good. Really, really good.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. I've done it with two boys. Had a great time. We've had a fantastic, absolutely superb.
Coming up the Champs-Élysées in the pouring rain was something I'll never forget.
Very hard this time. 5 hours under the rain, but done it.
Absolutely exhausted. I had no idea how hard it was, to be honest. I was probably a bit naive to do it, but I had the best time ever.
It's special every time we come down the Champs-Élysées and we see the tower and everything like that. It's fantastic.
A bit of rain and a few hills and a few swear words up along the way. When you're feeling a bit of pain, it's nothing compared to what these patients are going through, and that's totally right. Is that if we can raise hopefully £250,000 from 4 days of having some fun along the way, great cycling, some great friendships have been made as well, and what a great occasion to do that.
It may have been a wet day in Paris, but what a phenomenal achievement. All riders achieving their goal. Congratulations to all.